Thank you for joining us today at Miniature Wargaming Labs. Today we'll be painting up an Ayari guard for games of Black Powder Red Earth. Now I will be doing a paint scheme to paint all 8 of the models I have for Black Powder. So technically you can do this in one day. I split it into 2 because there's a big drying phase and I let that dry while I'm asleep. So you could do it in one day if you started early enough and didn't have anything else to do, but I'll call it 2 working days. So to do that, I primed it standard Mechanicus gray. I then used Army Painter's Necromancer Cloak. I also used Dragon Red and Dragon Fire Red and Mars Red. Then from the P3 line, I used Umbral Umber, Traitor Green, Thamar Black, and then I used Vallejo's German Camouflage Beige, World War II, and I used Games Workshop's Nuln oil and their Stirland Mud. So you can see a lot of the paints there are similar to the ones I used for the Hung Bin mercenaries, and so certain pieces of equipment on the models for my opposition force in Black Powder Red Earth, I'm going to keep the same, and it's just going to be like the base cloth uniform is going to change colors. But let's go ahead and get started. Now I've primed my model standard Mechanicus gray from Citadel Games Workshop, but honestly I think Army Painter would work pretty well here. But I'm going to start off with some Army Painter Necromancer Cloak, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a brush that I've messed up. So it's just a poor relic of its glory days. And I'm just going to slather this all over Primaris Standard Gray as my family screams in the background. Jeez Louise. Alright. So you don't have to worry where we put it over in this time. See, this is just going to be primarily for the uniform, but if you hit other parts, it doesn't matter. We'll touch it up later. Now I'm going to paint his boots. So I'll just get a brush that's actually functioning here. And oh wait, didn't tell you what color I'm using. I'm using P3's Umbral Umber. So when I painted the Hung Bin, I made their boots Umbral Umber, and to tie them into the Ayari guard, I'm going to make it look like they've been shopping at the same Army Navy surplus store together. So even though they wore some variances in their uniforms, there's still a common tie through logistics. Now I'm going to paint the webbing. P3's Traitor Green. So when I painted the Hung Bin mercenaries, their webbing was Traitor Green. So we're going to continue the theme of the Ayari guard wearing the same color of accoutrement as the Hung Bin, but not the same uniforms. I'll just go around, and I just like to glide the brush on top of all the little straps and little pouches here. No, it's not a full vest, even though there are magazine pockets in the chest. There's got some on there. Alright, if I ever miss this go over, just wet your brush and scrub it off. It'll come off. There's a radio right here, but we're going to do the black next. Now we're going to use some P3's Thamar Black, and we're going to paint the weapon system, the gloves, radio, the spare magazines. There's like a little radio cord you can see there, and his night vision goggles with the straps. So I'll just go ahead. The only tricky one is doing the head straps. That you got to pay attention to. Or if you need to, switch to a smaller brush. Glide along the edge of the straps. Down to these little spare magazines. Radio. Now everything's dried up, so what we're going to do is take some Vallejo, German Camouflage Beige, World War II. This is something I put on all the models that I have fighting in deserty type environments. So I should probably show that. Okay. What I'm going to do is take a piece of paper. I'm going to take my palette. I'm going to dip it. You see, get some German Camouflage Beige. I'm going to wipe it off. Wipe it off. Wipe it off. You see it's still some coming off. There. It doesn't look like any's coming off. Now I'm ready. And I just spin it. And you can decide how dusty you want to make him. Normally what I will do is dust it more at the bottom, like right in this range. We get like a second treatment because that's where most of the dust is. And this is how we destroy dry brushes so quickly. Alright, but you can get the idea. Go around, flavor to taste. Now we're close to finishing up. I just need some red, and in this case I'm going to use some Army Painter Dragon Red. Any red would do, really. So these guys only have one optic lens. So I'm going to dip my brush, get a little dot of red, just filled like that little cup there. Let's see, I want to say that they have, do the same here, for there, just for fun, right there. Okay, then we gotta make sure that dries before we do the next step. Now for the final touch, we're going to take some Army Painter Mars Red. So I needed something with orange in it. What we're going to do is take our tiny brush. We're going to dip it until we get like a little dot of paint. We are then going to take it and touch it to the side of the palette. And then just hit it in like, so we made all those little red circles. So I'm just going to take a corner of those little red circles and put a little smaller dot of orange. And there we go. Now we're going to say it is done. So off camera I've been painting up all 8 of these guys, and it took 2 working days because to head to work. And I let them dry overnight, and they're good to go. Well, thank you for joining us at Miniature Wargaming Labs, and we'll see you next time.